Welcome to another episode of the Weeb Retreat podcast. We hope you enjoy your stay. We are the Weebs, your host. My name is James. This is Germs. And today, as always, we have a lot to talk about. How you doing, Germs?
Doing good. It's been a spicy week. Every week is a spicy week, you know?
Every week. We don't allow weeks to not be spicy here. By the way, finally, I got some anime drip going on. Okay, shout out to Itachi. Hashtag Itachi didn't do anything wrong. Okay, just some slight genocide, but we'll get into that with the Attack on Titan here. So yeah, the timestamps are in the description. Slide through to get to your favorite parts of the video. Let me tell you what we are going through today. We have Attack on Titan's final season, My Dress Up Darling. We have Kobayashi's OVA coming at you from left field. We have an OVA from Kobayashi on the Blu-ray release. We finally got it online. I mean, we got it, the official Blu-ray released. I didn't say that. Then we have some weekly news. We have a new show that Germs is educated on. I'm not. It's called Aharen. We have a new trailer for that. It's coming out in the spring season. We have My Dress Up Darling's manga sale, so that's looking. We'll talk about it. Then we have a game announcement. Just stay tuned for that. We'll have some stuff to say about it. I don't want to shout it out here. So yeah, that's going to be our show today. And yeah, as always, if you enjoy this content, leave us a like and comment down below. Hop in the comments. We'd always love to participate with you guys down there. Let's move on to our weekly roundup here. Start off the show. Attack on Titan, final season, part 2, episode 7, the Annie episode. What did you make of this week's episode, Germs?
I thought it was a little bit interesting. Still a little, trying to figure out what's the setup for the, don't really know what's going on here. That's the one problem that I was hoping that would be resolved from last week. I was like, okay, we know Annie's free. We know that Connie's bringing the Falco to his mom. To Connie's mom.
Or Connie's
and
mom. Sorry.
It's like okay, I'm waiting for something like maybe Annie's gonna have some input on what to do here, or maybe we'll find some weakness or something. But there was some interesting things that did happen in here. We saw how crazy who's that one guy, the bull-headed guy that's like all crazy with power.
We're a final season at this point, 80 episodes in. It's hard to remember all the names, but I totally know what you're talking about. If you guys have been keeping up with Attack on Titan, you know who Germs is talking about. Basically, the guy who's got all the soldiers lined up, basically saying, "Time to convert because we're taking over." LD is coming back. Pretty nuts, dude. Pretty nuts. The whole season.
Yeah, shot Annie's
point blank.
Annie. Yeah,
right in the face, which was good to see. Any action, I'll take any action because this episode was not super loaded with tons of action. But yeah, anything else interesting to you from the episode?
Nothing too crazy. Like there's a lot of just like random like crazy scenes that just happened. It's like damn, and Annie's because we saw like Annie's father. But like, hey, let us free or whatever, they're coming, and then he gets like shot at the end, off screen. So it's like, okay, that's introduced. We've seen him throughout the series, like randomly. I'm like, who's this random? They keep showing back to this random guy, and it's like, oh no, it's Annie's father, and well, now he's dead.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
Yeah. We assume
it was off screen.
Hey,
maybe
who's not dead? You know who's not dead? Got to talk about that. My boy Levi, he ain't dead. So I'm, that was it for not being the biggest fan of this episode. That was nice to have that little he's there at the end. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's really interesting to see what's going on. And then Mikasa and Armin had a little talk there.
Yeah. Okay, that was okay, but I feel like they could have executed on that a little bit better. Did you like that little talk they had?
It just felt a little weird. It's like Armin's still like, huffing that copium. It's like, oh, like I'm like hoping. Copium. I was like hoping like he was gonna come up with some crazy plan, but he's like, oh, I'm actually just gonna tell Connie to stop. That's it.
It's like, okay, dude. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, I gotta be honest.
See, like the giant Titan, you could be doing something better than going to help some kid. It's like story wise for Falco. If Falco was the main character, okay, that makes sense. Why we're focusing on so much on this, but it's like why does Armin care so much when the world's literally like ending, and he's like, you know what, this one kid.
I'm going to help. That's my buddy right there. Okay, I'm sticking up for my
But
buddy.
then all the people around the city are all being destroyed by the giant titans, crushing everything, and it's like Armin's like, this little kid though,
small price to pay, you know.
So it's just like it's like a little weird. Like, what's he trying to do? He's just trying to like, why isn't he doing something? I don't know, better. I don't know. It's just a little weird where we're at right now.
It definitely is.
Super...
Let me jump in here. I think basically I totally agree with what you're saying. This episode for me is probably the weakest of this part 2 so far, and you gotta wonder, Germs. I mean, from reports, this part 2 is going to be like 12 episodes. I mean, this is episode 7, so it's like we're ramping up, and then like all of a sudden, to the end, and then the ride just, you know, now we're back on even playing field. It's like, whoa, I thought we were ramping up to something crazy here. Now
this is the end. This is the end here.
Yeah, this is why are we getting a detour when the ride's almost over? You should be giving me all the dips right now, and now we're taking a little side route here. And I know it's. To all the manga readers, they're probably going to say, no, it's not a side route. It's super important. And maybe it is, but it just, like you're saying, it's come out of left field. Like we knew Annie was a major player. We knew, you know, Falco and Connie's mom. Like we know about all this stuff, but it's like, guys, the rumbling is happening right now. We have all these fucking crazy giants going on, you know, like I'm here to see the genocide. Okay. I'm here to see the massive war take place. I'm here to see if, Ahren's plan gets fulfilled. I'm here to see if Zeke can somehow, you know, take back his vision for the future. We haven't even
seen Zeke since this all started.
We haven't seen him for 2 weeks. This week's, you know, last week's episode had a little bit of the consequences of the Titans coming out of the wall, the Colossal Titans. But that makes sense, right? But then we have another week where it's like we're not even now. We're completely going another route here, and it's like. Okay, I mean, I get that they're trying to deal with some fallout from, you know, Aharen declaring war on the fucking world, but let's get back to the war here, guys. I'm way more interested in that content as opposed to this content, and like you said, the content in this episode kind of felt jumbled. We're getting a bunch of different scenes.
You already kind of knew some of it, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're getting stuff with Arwen and Mikasa. We're getting stuff with Connie and Falco. We're getting stuff with you know, this was kind of like the Annie episode. This kind of mostly revolved around her. But then we had a guy whose name we can't remember with all the soldiers lined up.
Trip.
It's just like
on a power trip.
Yeah, power trip is the perfect word to describe it. It's like, it's almost like, I don't know how much further content they have, if they're trying to drag this out a little bit. I don't know what's going on. Maybe Isayama just kind of forgot about some plot lines and was like, all right, let's write these in here before we get to the final climax. But again, man, you know me, I'm all about that final climax here. I'm waiting for the spice. And it just, they're dragging their feet a little bit with this. You know, I kind of felt like this last week's episode, definitely this week's episode. So honestly, not the biggest fan of this week's episode. Gotta say, it felt a little out of place. Not a bad episode, but I feel like we should be, you know, focusing our attention. Yeah, it's not what we expected. It's not what they built up. And again, maybe it's because we're not binging the series and we're taking it season by season. You know, last season, part 1 was a whole year ago. So maybe some of this stuff was, you know, they built it up a little bit better. But for what we're watching weekly, it feels weird in a weekly sense. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree as well, especially because, you know, now we're, you know, with such a long series, you want at least one episode of like after all the action is done, an epilogue. But at least one. At least,
but with this, you want at least 2 or 3 because it's been going on 80 episodes. It's been going on since 2014. I mean, this anime has almost been going on for a decade. Germs. I remember when it first came out, everyone was fucking hyped about it. Like at the most, if we get 12 episodes, we have 5 episodes left. 5 more weeks, and then Attack on Titan is done. I think one of the weeks is delayed, by the way. But you get the point, right? 5 more episodes, then all of this has to be wrapped up, and we're kind of spending time on you know, sort of you know, plot lines that aren't. It just feels a little out of place. That's all. Maybe because the manga readers have read what we haven't. Maybe this Annie leads directly to the final confrontation, and Connie's mom. You know, like maybe they have
somehow.
Massive.
I don't know how though.
I don't know how either. They're not really setting it up. Maybe
if
they
we had like a little hint and we're like, oh, maybe Connie's mom is important. Like, you know, like with the basement, it's like, oh, the basement was important.
They built
you know,
that shit up. Exactly. Like that's a perfect example of them really, you know, really.
They've done it before, but what are they doing now?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. We only, again, Attack on Titan's about to be over, and we're kind of focusing on this stuff. I'm kind of surprised. So, yeah. Any final thoughts for this week's episode of AOT?
No, it just kind of felt like it was doing a lot of like small little things, but not even like finishing up all these you expect like finishing up a lot of small plot lines right before the last little arc, but you got like
It's
5 episodes left.
It's opening up
Yeah.
some side plot lines, and it's like we don't. The side plots should have been established before the rumbling, or maybe not. Maybe we just don't know what the future is.
Well, we have
Again,
the Kanye one. That's like the only plot line that like okay, that made sense. That was kind of set up.
That was somewhat set up. But yeah, and again, guys, we are anime only here. Don't roast us in the comments. We don't know the implications of all this. But again, it does feel like we are doing the side quest, okay? We got the main mission ahead of us, and now we're delving into side quest territory. We got the side plots opening up. So yeah, comment down below. What did you guys make of this week's episode of Attack on Titan's final season, part 2, episode 7? Long title. Let's move on here to our only other addition to the weekly roundup. It's getting scarce out here, okay? It's getting scarce out here, but the quality is here with My Dress Up Darling, episode 7. What did you make of this week's episode, Germs?
Oh, beautiful, man. Every week, man. Every week I start up this episode. Every week I start up the episode. I'm like, it's gonna be a good week. There's gonna be some good spicy, little romance, a little bit of progressing the plot here. It's got everything you're gonna want with a romance, man. A little bit of spice, a little bit of spice,
I just want to say, Cloverworks is coming through. Just got to throw that in there. So, yeah,
they're coming in.
In terms of the content of the episode, basically, Marin has a home date that she realizes with Gojo, and Gojo is now working on, he's working with the other little girl. Just a slice of life stuff. Not a lot going on here, but what we do have is perfect. What'd you make of it?
That was beautiful, man. Like you get just a little bit of a spice. You see her when she opens up the door, like woo.
Oh, and you know what was funny? She's like, "Oh shit!" She looks in the mirror, and she's got like her tits hanging out. She's like, "Oh, I forgot my contact lens. Like he hasn't seen me with my colored contact lens. Let me go put that on." Do you know what I mean? It's funny how sort of oblivious.
He was thinking.
Yeah, he was looking there. He's looking down there. Okay, so yeah, I think I love her personality, dude. I gotta say, I really and I know that there's a lot of memes out there. A lot of people didn't even watch the show. They're like, oh, waifu material immediately. But the personality has elevated this character to new heights, Germs. New heights. I mean, 2022 is starting off strong with the waifus, with Marin. I think. I think, yeah, I love her character. I love how, and then, they watch this, an anime within an anime. They're watching, whatever the hell it's called, some otaku
little chibi thing.
Yeah. She makes like lunch for him, and she's like, oh shit, don't be, and he's like, oh, it's good. Like, don't be embarrassed. It's that high school, flirting and romance and awkwardness that it's selling me, Germs. It's good shit.
Yeah, it's nice because they don't even care about the school parts. Like in the beginning, they showed a little bit of school, but now they don't even. It doesn't even matter if they're if they're going to school or.
You know what? I love that because so much of anime is in the fucking school. So much of it. It's a trope. The high school, even hanging after school in the classroom. It's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, again, we're Americans. It's much different over here, but it's like, they go to school 6 days a week over there. Like, school is a very big, prevalent thing over there. Over here, not as big, but, and it reflects in anime. But to see a high school anime that's not constantly in the school every day is like, it's refreshing, man. I love it.
Yeah, it's just, this show just is so much good, man. Like, they haven't let me down in any single way at the moment. The animation's fantastic. The characters are great. The story's great. It's like side characters are interesting. It's like, okay, hey, the side character isn't just like all over Gojo. It's like, just like it's like a friendship / partnership.
We're not turning into a crazy harem, an unrealistic harem here. Like, we're keeping it. It's a rom-com between the main two, but we're slowly incorporating. We have the other cosplayer. We have her sister at the end. You want to talk about that at all? The sister is fucking way bigger than her, and Marin leans over. She's like, "How big are you? What?" It's like, oh my god, dude. She's so oblivious to social norms.
Mm-hmm. Love it, man. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, and then
I'm gonna be very sad. I'm gonna be very sad when this is gone.
oh
Very,
yeah,
very sad.
it's good. It's good. And you have the is it the uncle or the grandpa to
Grandpa.
Gojo? Grandpa, I think. He, there's a nice little moment there in the beginning where cuz this is something I had a question about. Okay, it's my dress up darling. He makes his Hina dolls, but then he's doing cosplay for her. So I was wondering where the connection is there. And the grandpa's inspecting the Hina doll and he's like, oh, you're getting better. MC is like, really? And Gramps is like, yeah, all that cosplaying that you're doing is also helping you here too. You know what I mean? As a, sort of that designer influence. So that's sort of the connection there by, maybe helping Marin and this other girl with cosplaying. It's also going to translate to his business and, making Hina dolls. Cause I always wondered, I'm like, where are they going to, cause I understood the initial, um, you know,
Set
um,
up and
setup there because he was after school. He was doing cloth. He was working on cloth, right? So I was like, okay, but here we get to see the sort of merging of worlds, and that was a nice little moment there. So
and the
I
Gramps
mean,
is like, oh yeah, outside experiences, you gotta enjoy life.
he's a cool
You can't
Gramps. He's a cool Gramps.
Mhm.
Yeah, so even the Gramps, dude, when you start liking the parents of the characters, that's when they got the characters on point, okay? Because usually anime doesn't give a fuck about the adults. You know what I mean? The adults are non-existent. They don't live with the kids. They just give the kids money, and the kids have their own apartment all the time. Like so many of these tropes, but yeah, I love all the characters here. Very not a big roster of characters, but I love all of the characters. So.
Agreed.
Good stuff, right, man? Good stuff.
Mhm.
So, yeah, comment down below, guys. Let us know what you guys think of My Dress Up Darling. It's blowing up. Everyone's in love with this show. We predicted
As they
it.
should.
We knew that this was going to be good stuff. That's why we put it on the roundup. We foresaw the future this time. So, yeah, good stuff. We can't recommend it enough. And with that, let's get on to our winner of the week, just between two, because, well, that's Demon Slayer. Why you got to leave us like that, okay? But, yeah. Attack on Titan, My Dress Up Darling. What is your winner of the week, Germs?
You already know. Just up, darling. No competition this week, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
Yeah, no competition, no reason to really even debate this. I think me and Germs, we have way too much of the same opinion. I thought you might have liked the Attack on Titan episode this week, but then you're like, oh, it kind of feels off. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Always agreeing with each other. Always agreeing with each other. So, yeah, we're going to pick My Dress Up Darling. So, yeah, guys, comment down below. Let us know what your winner of the week is of all the anime that's coming out right now for the winter 2022 season. What are you watching right now? And what episode really stood out to you this week? What are you vibing with? With that, let's get on to a review. I'd say it's a review. Just something we got to talk about. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. We've talked about it a ton. We love it. And so for the Blu-ray release of season 2, they included a special OVA episode. I think it's, what is it? Technically episode 13? Yeah, I think it's 13. And let's just say we finally got a hold of it through our own means. And we're able to finally watch the OVA episode. What are your impressions of this season 2 OVA episode, Germs? Let the people know.
It was just like any episode in the second season, man. It's just like, oh, like a refresher. It's like, oh, that's how it was. It's like, oh, I'm feeling good. Especially when that OP started playing again, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm back. I'm traveling back in time, like I'm back a month, back to when the season 2 ended. I'm like, oh, so good, man. I wish it never left. But hey, we got an extra episode here.
Hey, the quality is still there. Kyoto Animation, take your time with this series because I got to tell you, we loved. We reviewed Kobayashi, right? We'll leave it linked above. I'm pretty sure we reviewed it. Basically, we loved it, and yeah, I mean, season 2 OVA killed it very much like season 2. Let's get into it. So this is the Chloe episode, right? The American, the little girl Chloe is, it's her meeting up with, visiting. So the first half is the Akihabara section, which honestly I thought was really cool. I thought that was really nice, to see them go through the shops and just it's all the slice of life moments. You know what I mean? It's
like Elmo would show up and the nerd
they all
guy
show
and
up.
everyone.
Yeah, they all
Like,
start
oh, it
showing
makes
up,
sense.
and you kind of get to see
Oh,
Kana and her interaction and sort of yeah, it's just good stuff. What else is there to?
it feels good, man. It just feels good.
Yeah, and there's this one reference that I want to talk about, and Chloe was like, "What do you call that?" And it was Maji Yabakune. Do you remember that when they were there? It's a
Yeah,
reference
yeah.
to. I looked it up, dude, because I'm like, that's because remember I binged it to get into season 2. I'm like, ah, I heard that before. That's a reference to episode 4 of the first season. So they didn't just come up with the word out of nowhere. Like that's they said that previously, which I think is it's just good. Just
It's
just
nice.
little nice stuff like that. Did you know that, by the way? Because it was kind of
No, I
weird.
didn't know. I didn't.
It's like, what do you call that? Then they give you a word, and the sub is not translating to anything because it's a made up word. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? I looked it up because it was familiar. I'm like, they had that in season 1 when Kana is being cute, because that's all Kana is, right? So yeah, so we have the Akihabara section. The VR section in particular, dude. I thought that was
That was
fucking,
funny. As
that
that
was
was
funny.
hilarious. I
That
just
was
love when
so
it zooms out to them in real life and just like
Yeah, and you got the gamer boy. Man, what's his name? We're not watching weekly, man. I'm ashamed that I don't remember his name, but the dark dragon guy, the
Fafnir.
OG Fafnir. Faf is like taking it seriously. It's like it's what you would expect, dude. It's so good. So yeah, then the second half, we have school.
Daily life.
Yeah, we have a Lulu's shop. With the school part, we got to see them jumping onto the white painted parts of the concrete. Again, another reference to Kobayashi. We've seen that before. It's beautiful. We see Saikawa come over one day, and Saikawa was a
Oh
little bit of
my
a nutbag.
gosh.
And you think to yourself, you're like, oh, we're gonna have some fighting here. We're gonna have some competition, and then Saikawa becomes in love with Chloe too. So it's like, okay, everyone's we
Everyone's
gotta
happy.
everyone's happy. She's in love with both of them. And then yeah, and then it ends with all of
The
them doing
farewell.
sparklers on the
Oh
roof.
yeah, sparklers. Okay.
Yeah. That was really nice to see. Kobayashi does that stuff really well, where it's like, let's come together, let's have a meeting, let's have a lunch, let's have a whatever it is, and it's just nice seeing all of the cast together because the cast is so strong. Germs, the cast is so strong. They have all of the characters have their own
The
individual.
chemistry.
The chemistry is so great, dude. So great to see them interact. That's the meat and potatoes of the show. And then yeah, Chloe's, as you would expect, Chloe's back off to America. I think Minnesota, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, she's only over for this one episode, but it it's
And even Psycho was tearing up, And even
yeah, I
her,
know,
Chloe
right?
was.
Yeah. And season 1 had the Valentine's Day OVA. So honestly, with Kobayashi, whenever they come out with an OVA, keep on the lookout for it because it's just like another
This is good.
extension. It's an extension of the series. It's almost required viewing. It's like it's bonus content, but check it out. It's just as good as the main seasons. It's still just as good. And yeah, to just leave you with this, the theme of the episode is Chloe's a dragon too. Chloe, she asks Kobayashi, are all your friends dragons? And kind of like, what's it like living with dragons? And, she's like, can I be a dragon too? And after she's gone, Kobayashi's like, yeah, she's a dragon too. You know what I mean? Just cute little stuff that little kids would care about, I want to be a dragon too, that type of stuff. So that was the theme of the episode is Chloe, being a dragon, which is a reference to her, like, fitting in with the all the cast of the characters over in Japan. So that's what I have to say. Anything else to add, Germs?
Oh man, it was just a feel good episode, man. Just feels good.
Yeah.
Just a little bright of sunshine in my day. Kobayashi every time.
It's a feel good show. It's a feel good show. If you're depressed, put on some Kobayashi. You're gonna have some Saikawa. You're gonna have some Kana. All the characters. They're all great. They're all great. So
And
yeah.
Fafnir.
Fafnir's funny. All of them. I mean, they're great. So we recommend it. Out of 5, I'm gonna give it a 4. What are you gonna give it? A 5?
I'm gonna get a 5. That was just feel good, man.
I'll give it a 5 now because the theme of it. I like the theme of it. It's totally worth watching. So we'll give it a 5 out of 5. And yeah, comment down below if you guys have seen it. If not, have we piqued your interest into this? So yeah, Kobayashi. Whenever it comes out, we got to talk about it. Can't wait for season 3. Season 3 is we're probably going to have to wait like a year or two at least. So it's nice to have this little holdover. You know what I mean? I don't want to think about that. It's too sad. So, all right, let's get into some of the weekly news. This was at the request of me. I really wanted to talk about this. This is what exactly is this called? Aharen. Hopefully, I'm not butchering that because we don't have an English name out. But basically, there's a new rom-com coming out. Germs knows all about it. He'll talk to you about it in a second. And it is
Aharen is indescribable.
Oh, what is indescribable?
Oh, indecipherable? Indecipherable.
Indecipherable. What exactly? Daily life of short, quiet Reina Aharen, or indecipherable Reina, maybe. I don't know. Whatever it's called in English, we got it on the screen now.
We'll find it eventually.
We'll find out eventually, right? So we have a new trailer for it. It's coming out in the spring, and as someone who has prior experience with it, what did you make of this trailer, Germs?
Oh, man, it was just like a flashback, man. I was like, oh, I remember that was a funny ass chapter. I just kept getting flashbacks. I'm like, oh, it just feels good, man. It's just a feel good show, man. It's not as crazy into the romance like it's more like Nagatoro. No, maybe not as Nagatoro. Nothing like too crazy with the romance, but just like the feel good comedy vibes. Nothing too crazy, no serious things or anything. It just feel good vibes. Every episode's gonna be just like a fun little comedy, maybe a little bit of spice.
Yeah.
But hey, it's just gonna feel good every week. Just gonna feel good.
Good. Another good feel, a good feel slice of life. We're just talking about Kobayashi. So yeah, this is going to be dropping on April 1st. So the spring season. So, and the manga's good. The manga's good shit because you've read a little bit of it.
Oh yeah, it's really good stuff, man. I can't like all the little scenes. You see, if you see the trailer, you see the tone of the series. Like a lot of comedy, and then every once in a while a little bit of romance and spice.
Yeah.
Like Nagatoro, I guess, but less Nagatoro, but less bullying.
Yeah. I suspected that because she's too cute to be bullying, right? Only question I have is because I always want to ask this of you whenever you've read the source material. Does this look like it's doing the source material justice in terms of the animation? Because the animation looks good. Yeah, it's kind of like a Comey. Like the animation looks really good, really solid. So I don't know shit about it. All I know is there's her, there's the guy that sits next to her, and I'm excited. Okay, it looks good. It's right up our alley. Maybe it'll be on the roundup. I don't want to jinx anything here, but it looks like a show that's right up our alley. So. Yeah, guys and gals, the weebs out there, comment down below if you have read the source material. If not, we'll leave a link down below to the trailer. Really good looking trailer. So check that out. It's coming out in spring of 2022, next season. All right, so let's go back to Dress Up Darling, okay? This is something that you brought to my attention here, and Dress Up Darling is killing it. Not only is it killing it in the anime rankings, but manga rankings too, which is, I've slowly been educating myself to how the industry works, and it's not a meme. I mean, anime really are made to sell manga, to sell other merchandise too, but a lot of the money that
those figures are going to be insane.
Oh,
those figures are going to be sold out the second they come out.
Forget it.
Holy moly.
And they're gonna make a ton of them. They're gonna make all the cosplays, right? All the characters in the cosplays,
swimsuit, normal outfit. Oh my god!
They're gonna have
the printing money.
Yeah,
the printing money.
They the Japanese executives were sitting in the studio. They're like, you know what? Maker is fucking cute as possible. We're gonna sell a lot of this merchandise. So. Yeah, but the manga, people are digging the anime. Anime is a top 2 right now, easily, without even looking at it, right? It's probably Attack on Titan and Dress Up Darling right now for this week, I'd assume.
Oh, wait, not even a question. Not even a question.
And for the manga, for the highest, so this list comes to us via TV Fandom Lounge, and this is the best-selling manga series of 2022 so far. So, again, the year ain't over, but, we're 2 months in, so we're starting to see some trends here. And where exactly is Dress Up Darling? Number 14 at 526,000. Remember, Dress Up Darling started airing this year, and it's already in the top 15. I mean, it's pretty good. You know, you have stuff like Spy Family. At the time I got reincarnated as a slime, Haikyuu, Blue Lock.
Comey,
Yeah, Comey's there. Whereas I think Comey's a little bit lower. But basically
18.
what I want to talk about is everything above My Dress Up Darling has been consistent sellers. These are established series that have been selling well. And, you know, like Kaiju number 8, that's no surprise. Spy Family, that's no surprise. Demon Slayer, One Piece, Tokyo Revengers, Kaizen, those are no surprise. We talked about how Revengers is doing really well over in Japan. But again, Dress Up Darling, it's only come out this year and it's already, you know, shooting up. So good stuff.
Oh,
good
it's
stuff.
only getting more spicy.
And you're picking up the manga now, so you're hopping on that hype train.
Yeah, I'm part of that number now.
Germs has contributed to that number in some way, shape, or form. So, yeah, we'll leave a link to this article down below talking about the best-selling manga of 2022 so far. Yeah, nice to see. My Dress Up Darling. Yeah, getting the recognition that it deserves. And our last slated news piece, there's a game announced from this one company that you shouldn't give any of your money to. This is Street Fighter 6. That's right. We're in 2022 and Street Fighter is still, they're still making games of it. They'll never stop making games of it. We got a teaser trailer. It shows nothing. It shows 2 characters. Those are probably hey, that's the whole roster there for the first edition. So we got our whole roster, all the playable characters right here in the teaser trailer. We got Ryu, and then we got some other guy. Bam, all the playable characters. So, I'll hand it over to you before I say anything here. What's your relationship with Street Fighter, Germs? Do you play it a lot? Do you have any solid memories with it, or are you just like, it's just another series that I'm not super big into?
I just remember when the last one was coming out, when I was working at a theme park, they had like demo units of the game that you could play. I'm like, hey,
at the theme park. Nice.
So like on my lunch. So my lunch, I'd be like, hey, let me play some Street Fighter 5 before it actually comes out. You know, let me. And I'm like, hey, it's. When I
was there, they did not have that shit. Okay, I would have been all privy to that. But yeah, what'd you make of it? I mean, what'd you make of 5?
It was okay. You know, once I found out Tekken, then it wasn't even a competition.
then it's not a Tekken's in another league. That's a whole other discussion for another time. But should I tell them the story about me driving in the rain, the infamous Street Fighter 5 story? So I'll say it for the billionth time. I feel like I've talked about this forever with you, but we got a podcast now. It's time to share it with the people. So this is we're seniors at this point, right? I'm on the tennis team for my school, my high school, and I skip practice to go pick because I'm so excited. I'm skipping practice, driving in the rain, not just like a little, like it's pouring. It's fucking pouring, and you know how it is when you're driving. When it's pouring, it's a little bit more dangerous on the road. But that was not deterring me. That was not stopping me. I had to go pick up Street Fighter 5. I was so hyped for it. I rushed home, put it in the PS4, booted up. It takes forever to download all the bullshit because that's how games are these days. I'm getting, honestly, this is we should talk about this, Germs. I'm getting jaded with video games at this point. You got to get me back into being a gamer because I've become, the past X amount of years, I've been becoming jaded with the new generation. But so yeah, I start playing it and immediately I'm like, all right, time to go to arcade mode. I look at the screen. All right, there's no arcade mode. Okay, that's fucking weird. And then I believe there was 8 playable characters. I'd be surprised if there was fucking 12, okay? But I think there was 8. I think I want to look it up. Because I remember it was a ridiculous amount of playable characters that it was almost laughable. You started up the screen and you're like, what the fuck, dude? Well, I remember, okay, I'll just say this because we're looking it up. I remember you couldn't play as Guile, and I was like, what the fuck? Why can't you play as Guile? Like, it's just, the designs look terrible.
Oh, yeah. Guile was added in season 1.
Fucking stupid, dude. Fucking stupid. But the characters look terrible. The backgrounds look terrible. This is the initial release, right? This is not patched. This is nothing. This is just out of the box. The gameplay felt a little clunky to me, and I remember telling myself, I'm not supporting Capcom anymore. This is my last fucking purchase. And what did they do? And by the way, they said publicly, we're not making a championship edition. We're not making an arcade edition. Street Fighter V will be the one disc, and then if you want to pay for upgrades, you can do that. We're not going to be putting out a separate, separate disc that you can buy, right? And what do? They come out with arcade edition. They came out with like at least 2 or 3 editions, right? Of course, classic Capcom. So yeah, I'm totally jaded with Street Fighter at this point. But and they did this with 2. They did this with 2. Here, I'll give you the list of 2 because 2 they had the War Warrior back in 1991. Then they had the greatest game of all time, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. Here's the Sega Genesis box. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This was worthy of your purchase back in the day, okay? Because this gave you the 4 bosses: Vega, Balrog, M. Bison, and what's his name? I can think of him. I cannot. Sagat. So you could play with the extra 4 that were the boss battles in the arcade edition, right? Back when they had the arcade edition that you could play. So this is the OG. This is my favorite game of all time. Back on the Sega Genesis, yes, I still have a Sega Genesis. So, but then you had Turbo Hyper Fighting, Street Fighter 2: The New Challengers, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition.
2 is like a whole nother level.
2 is a whole nother level. And then they had Turbo HD Remix, which was actually sick. They actually they completely redrew the whole game, and it's like cell shaded sprite animation now. So it's it basically took everything from like 16-bit into like modern, nicely drawn, nicely animated characters. And then now we have Ultra Street Fighter 2, the final challengers. I don't know what that is. I'm checked out, but basically, long story short, Capcom's been doing this forever. This is one of the few times where it was worth it to upgrade. I'm not buying Street Fighter 6, and if you buy Street Fighter 6, just know, wait 2 years. They're coming out with a new one anyway, so there's really no point in fucking buying it. So you don't really have anything to say about the Street Fighter franchise, so.
Nah,
Street Fighter.
If it was Tekken, then I would be all over that, like shrimp on rice. But
Yep. and I've been a Tekken fanboy forever, my friend. Before you even knew about Tekken, I was playing that shit. So I love Tekken 2. And if you were to take modern day Street Fighter versus modern day Tekken, it's not even a comparison at this point. So yeah, Street Fighter 2 still is my favorite game of all time. But not doing it, Capcom. Not paying for your shitty games.
Not again.
Not again. The Street Fighter 5 story was, I remember putting that shit in, looking at the weak roster, looking at the fact that you couldn't do, what you had to do, Germs, is, because arcade mode, you go through everyone, you fight the final guy, right? What they had was like these story sections where you fight 4 people and there's these annoying ass cutscenes in the middle. It's like, that was the most closest thing you could get to arcade edition. It was such shit, dude. It was terrible, so. Yeah, Street Fighter 6, worthy of bagging on, in my opinion. So that's it for the weekly news. I hate to leave you guys on a low note like that. Any weekly thoughts from you, Germs? I know that you've been playing a special game recently.
Yeah, I was just like, had some free time. I'm like, you know what? I played in the Final Fantasy 14, and RuneScape and stuff. I'm like, let me see. I remember there was that weird 2D one that was an MMO. Like, I wonder how that works. Like, how you make a 2D MMO? I was like, oh, it was MapleStory. I remember playing that on my phone a little bit. Back in the day. I'm like, let me try it out, and I'm like, seeing on these videos and stuff, and it's like all these crazy ass numbers, like billions of numbers hitting in the millions. There's like, you hit once and like 8 numbers show up, all that kind of crazy stuff. I'm like, hey, this sounds kind of fun, mess around a little bit. It's an MMO, I can play it. It's free to play. Don't even need to spend a single buck. I can have some fun with it. At worst it happens, I lose time, It is a little, but like, it looked like it was a good time. Like, okay, I can play. Maybe I'll get like one character to like mid game, maybe a little end game, depending on how fun it is. And I just been playing it, man. It's a lot of fun. Like good grinding. Stuff. I just love my grinding, and just the what's it called? The endorphins are just like hitting like crazy. I do like a really cool combo. I see like a billion numbers on screen. I'm like, nice. Let me do that again. Let me hit like 20 guys at once again. It just feels so good, man.
How
Like, I've
many
just been having a good time.
how many hours you sunk into it already?
I think I got like 40 something right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like 20 something hours, and then I met like some random people, and they're like, "Hey, the server you're on is like dead. Like, how about you join the other server and we'll boost you up?" And dude, that shit was insane. I was
Yeah.
like, they were boost. I got from like level like 1 to 100 in a day. It
And
was wild.
these are just people playing with you online.
Yeah, just random people I just like met online, and I was like, "Hey,
That's a nice that's a nice user base there. That's a nice fandom they got if they're willing to do that. You know, it doesn't sound
mhm.
toxic like a lot of these other fandoms out here. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
dude, I've heard some wild. I've seen both sides of the coin, James.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, for Maple
it's
Story
wild
specifically?
already. Yeah,
Oh
already. I've
shit.
already seen both sides, and it's
I spoke
like,
too soon.
like some of them are just like really cool, like chill, but then some kind they know life in this game, man. This is their game. Like they have like every character maxed out, spend thousands of dollars and all that crazy shit, and I'm just like, it's cool, but they like always keep bringing it up and shit. And I'm like, bro, I don't care. I don't. This
Who
is
you
my
flexing
character.
on? Who you flexing
Yeah,
on? You know?
I'm like level 100 and something, man. You're like, calm down.
Yeah.
I don't have 20. I don't have 40 different characters like you. I only got one right now. Okay.
Yep.
But it's just fun. There's some really cool dudes. I remember I joined one of their servers, and just like one of them was just streaming like weird like anime. And I'm like, these are my people. Like they're watching some like super etchy shit, and I'm like, based. They know the quality.
Based.
And
Hashtag
they even showed me like
based.
they even had an anime I didn't even know existed. I'm like, damn, this slipped through the cracks, and yet this random person's streaming it on Discord right now. This is wild. I'm like, well, I guess I'll catch up and check up on that community every once in a while. It's not gonna be like my main game every day. I'm gonna be grinding this shit out, but it's like, oh, I got a little bit of free time. Hey, let me grind out a few levels. Maybe I'll get some new gear, do a boss or two.
That's the good type of game where it's like, okay, I'll work on it a little bit throughout the day, get the dailies, get whatever I want to do, but it's not like sucking you in. You know what I mean? I've had way too
Yeah, the
many
gameplay is just so beautiful, man.
I've had way too many
It's easy.
experiences where I get sucked in, dude, and I leave those experiences thinking to myself, never again. I can't ever let myself get so sucked in like that. You know what I mean? Because gaming can get really anything can get really addicting, but yeah, it's like a solid, like you just do it for a few hours a day, nothing too crazy. That's like my type of game right there.
And you can just leave it. You can leave it alone for a long while. It's free to play. It's not like you had to pay a subscription every month to play it. And it's like,
Right.
man, this shit's free. But there's so many whales that it's like, no wonder why it can be a free game. So many people be spending money on this that the free people don't even care. They don't even care about it.
Yeah.
But there's like with all the events, it's like you get so many rewards and like so many like level up potions. It's like, damn, this is nice. It's like the only thing that's like a little hard as like it's a little hard getting in as like a new player. Like there's just so many different systems, so many. Like they just kept adding new systems that it's just like I'm just like, oh my god. Like for like when I first like it's like I'll like watch the video and it's like, yeah, get your Legion level up to this, and then get your Link skills up to that, and then also you gotta buff this, and then make sure you did your raid this week, and then oh yeah, don't forget about this system and that system. It's like, oh my god, this is like 20 different systems, and that's probably just like the surface level stuff. But after playing for like a week, it's like, okay, I can understand most of the things that they're saying when they're I don't know all the gear names and all the stuff, but it's like, okay, oh, that boss, okay, yeah, I'll get strong enough to do that boss. Oh, okay, I'll make sure to do that. It's like, okay, it just initially it took a little while to like it just overload. You're just so overloaded, just like, oh my god, oh, but
yeah,
just taking it slow, not trying to go crazy on it, but just
not
like
trying to ball out with it.
Yeah, don't even need to spend any money.
I want to get back into games. I just got to find the right shit, man. I don't know. I'm so jaded with video games right now. I'm in a slump here, okay? I'm in a slump, so. Yeah, good to hear that you're liking it. So, yeah, Maple Story, if anyone plays out there, hit up your boy Germs, okay? So.
In the comments,
yeah,
I guess.
for any of these topics that we have discussed about, if you've even made it to this part in the video, thank you, by the way. Drop a comment. We will always read it, get back to you. We love to have discussions with you guys. We'll love to, meet all the community out there. So, yeah. So if you enjoyed your stay, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you're a weeb like we are. Of course, hit that sub button. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, give us a follow over on there. And yeah, any parting words for the weebs out there, Germs?
Hey, there's a lot of good stuff out there, man. And Elden Ring is coming soon, that new farm software. So
people are hyped about that shit.
A lot of people.
A lot of people. So one day I'll get back into gaming. I just gotta find the good jumping on point. So, all right, weebs out. We will see you all next week. Peace.